This is my presentation for the motivational assignment. So I just got done interviewing the 20 people that we were supposed to interview, and I feel like a lot of the people said similar answers, but there were some that were different. When it comes to some of the people that I interviewed, most of them were around my age, I'd say there was probably maybe 5 that were outside of the ages of 20 to 25. I feel like I did a pretty good job of making it about 50-50 when it comes to the gender, about half male, half female, just to get a good view of what we're working with here. I was really interested with some of these answers. I thought some of them were really lame and not lame, but simple, and maybe not as well thought out, while others, I could tell that they took the time. I could tell that they had thought about this before and gave really deep, in-depth answers to these questions. So let's dive in. Some of the definitions of motivation. There was a lot of similar things for the definition of motivation. Having the desire to achieve a goal was a big one. It's what pushes you to do something that you wouldn't ordinarily do. It's a reason to act. Something that pushes you to be the better version of yourself was another big one too. So not only are you doing things you wouldn't do, but they're positive things that build your character and make you a better person, not just things that you wouldn't do normally. The desire and willingness to act on something that you're very passionate about. I think passion is a great motivator, and I think that's what people said a lot of the time. All right, moving on to the next part, the things that motivated the participants, the people that answered the questions in my survey, there was a lot of repeats, obviously. I don't think there's a huge list of different things that motivate people, but there are a lot of the same things. Family was number 1. I think that a lot of different students in this class are going to also realize this, that family is quite the motivating factor. I think I counted 12 out of the 20 people said family, which is over 50%, which is a large number. Another one of the big hits was money. About 4 or 5 people said money was a factor. That may not be the most moral of factors, but I think that if we're honest with ourselves, it's a pretty true statement that money motivates people to not only survive, but to live in luxury. But another one was happiness, which was kind of overall everything. Obviously, in the Constitution, is the motivating factor for our founding fathers was the pursuit of happiness, and so it is for us as well. There was a couple ones that regarding religion, that getting to heaven was a motivational factor, or making like God proud was another one. One that's kind of related to family was future spouse. To those people that are not in a relationship or not married, they want to become the person that their spouse is going to be looking for, so that best version of themselves, so they can attract the best version of a spouse. So there's future was another one. They just want to be motivated to have the happiest future available to them was a big one. There was 6, actually. Second place was just self-improvement. So just becoming a better version of yourself was a big one, for sure. And then achieving goals. There's a couple for they just want to accomplish tasks and achieve goals. And then one that I just thought, there was only one voter on this one, was just love in general, which was a pretty good answer. So for self-reflection, going into this assignment, it was a little overwhelming. I'm not like huge into going around and talking to people I don't know, or people I do know about stuff like this, but the first couple, just getting the first couple out of the way, that made the rest a lot easier. I don't think it was that embarrassing per se, but it was maybe just a little uncomfortable, just because I could tell people weren't so super enthused to answer these questions. I would ask them, they would be really excited to answer. I'm like, oh, it's only 3 questions, you know? They'd be like, oh yeah, for sure. And then they would hear the questions and realize kind of how deep the questions were, and they'd be set back like, wait, like, I'm gonna need time to really think about this. There's a lot of people that needed extra time to sit back and evaluate the question deeply. So in that way, it was just maybe a little uncomfortable, nothing too serious. I mean, most people I interviewed were not necessarily friends, but acquaintances, but some friends. There's a lot of people that really wanted to keep talking about it. Well, just a couple that would be like, well, what's yours? Like, what did you say? What motivates you? What are your motivational factors? And they reciprocate the question that I originally asked them, and which was fine. So it led to a little bit of discussion afterwards. And so my ideas were pretty similar when it comes to motivational factors. I'd say family is definitely number one. You know, just I'm about to get married next week, and so my fiance would probably be number one on that list. And then other motivational factors would be being able to live comfortably was one of them, and I think I agree with that. Just having kind of a stress-free, comfortable life would be a good motivational factor. And to do that, you'd have to work hard and accomplish your goals. So they all are kind of intertwined in a way, for sure. So yeah. So just in conclusion, I think that this was a fun assignment. I thought that this was an assignment that kind of got you out of your comfort zone, but not in a way that was super uncomfortable. And it helped you learn things not from a book, but from real life experience, by you literally getting the data and receiving the data from your peers, which was pretty cool. So